I've been ready, Caleb. Wait.
You've been what now?
Shh.
I am giving a fair warning to the audience that I will not be speaking too much about the Eagles. I will say a few things, and that'll be it. Because Sunday was so sad. But I guess you wanna go over what? Why are you recording me? Were you already recording me? Why are you recording me again?
No, that's you. That's your camera. I just feel like fair is fair. If you get to record with your camera, I should record with mine.
What is this shenanigans?
What are you talking about?
Why?
You're recording me, so why can't I record you? I feel like this is very weird behavior from you. Like, you can get away with things that I can't get away with? Is that what we're trying to insinuate here?
I don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean? I'm recording you. I think it's fairly obvious.
Why? Oh, I won predictions, but why are you...
Yeah, you did. So that's a good outcome, right? Yeah. Something good happened.
Mm-hmm. But what are you... why are you recording? I'm so confused. I'm so lost. I'm so fucking
lost.
Just
commemorating the final episode of Liga de Wingues. What's wings in Spanish?
Probably wings.
Alas.
See, I told you.
Not what I expected.
Alas.
Liga de Alas.
Yes.
Or Alas Liga.
But today is a very, very sad podcast because sorry for if my emotions are down. I'm just really sad about the Eagles because, you know, I'm ending disgruntled, and that's the last reaction that I will ever post on Disgruntled, and this is the last League of the Wings episode that will be ever uploaded on the channel. I mean, it's not going to be the last podcast ever uploaded on the channel because we are, or at least I'm still doing Kids with the Forest Parents. This is a very sad episode in many ways because this is, in fact, the last episode of the podcast in which you never see this duo ever again on this channel.
Well, I'm still under contract.
Just this duo in the same format as League of the Wings.
Okay. And this isn't an overreaction to a certain game or sporting event that happened on Sunday. No, this is what had been planned for a long time. So for all the people who may be tuning in like, haha, sad Eagles fan quitting his channel because
I didn't even think
they
about
didn't
it
get the
that.
Final win of the season. Haha. No, this is like we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, to look on the past ones, I think we started talking about this being like the last season of League of the Wings and Disgruntled since the beginning of the season. So, there's evidence. Go back to the past podcasts and look for yourself to get us views. But
anyways,
yeah.
We also would like to announce that we have a guest for the first time ever on this podcast. Yeah, I guess. We have Jason Kelsey, who is a free agent and will be a future Colt.
He's going to retire.
Ring of Honor.
He's going to retire.
No, he's
retiring.
This is where he's headed.
It's either he retires or he continues to play on the Eagles.
No, I think we can work out a deal. He likes Steichen. He's a big fan of that guy.
Yeah, but he's a bigger fan of the Eagles, so I feel like he would stay in Philadelphia or retire. So
why wouldn't he want to move closer to his brother?
Because
out in Kansas City, they would be so close.
They already do so good with that distance. You know, they got a private jets to their disposal, so they're going to be able to go back and forth pretty easily between Philadelphia and Kansas City, like they've already been.
They used to say that before the podcast, they never really got to see each other, so I feel like that's incorrect.
Well, I mean, the podcast brought them together, and
but now it's easier to get together for that reason.
Yeah, but you know, I just don't. It's Jason Kelsey just loves the city of Philadelphia too much.
But he's gonna love Indianapolis as well. You know, there's a lot of stars that have come to Indiana that said the same thing about their old cities. It reminds me of Tyrese Halliburton, who said he was a Sacramento King for life. And now he's our bright young star in Indiana, who's going to be in the 3-point contest, actually.
Well,
yeah. Along with Buddy Hield, another person who thought he would be a Sacramento King for life, but is now in Indiana. It's interesting how life doesn't go always the way you intend it to, huh?
Yeah. But I just want to get over the predictions real fast because I don't want to talk about it because I'm just so upset in so many ways. So I won, like I said earlier, I won the predictions for the playoff run. I had 154 total points and Titus had 144. But
no.
I had 170 total points and Titus had 149 total points. And we did not do too good this Super Bowl predictions because I only had a total of 16 points and Titus had a total of 5 points.
Out of a possible 120.
Yeah. So you do the math. That's not good at all. We both predicted the Eagles. Honestly, we predicted basically the same throughout the entirety. So I guess we should probably just go over the disputes rather than the ones that we actually predicted correctly.
No, I think we should start with the first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
I'm good. So the Eagles lost to the Chiefs 38-35. It was kind of weird because the script predictors had the Eagles winning 37-34, which is a 1 point difference between
the script predictors
or the script writers for the NFL because they had them winning 37-34.
What do you mean?
It was a common meme and I brought it up last podcast, but
I remember this.
So if you look up Super Bowl script, Eagles, Chiefs, I don't know if I'm going to... Oh, so the script was leaked and everyone was passing around because someone updated the Wikipedia saying that the Eagles will win 37-34. And I brought it up during the reactions, and everyone, due to the meme of the NFL being scripted, everyone bandwagon and made a fake Wikipedia.
I see.
Which was oddly similar to the actual score, but it just reversed and off by a point from each side. So, well, I guess flipped because Chiefs, instead of the Eagles winning, the Chiefs won, but it's off by 4 and off by.
We got it.
Yeah. So the Eagles lost.
Oh.
Unfortunate. Like I prefaced earlier, it would have been perfect to White 10, disgruntled, and League of the Wings. But
no.
I don't know if I would rather have the Chiefs blow us out or have a close game like this because I feel like if we were getting blown out the entirety of the game, then we wouldn't be as invested as this heartbreaking loss. But also, it shows that, we deserve to be in the Super Bowl because we kept it close, and these are the two best teams within the NFL colliding together. And honestly, I don't know. There was just, a few mistakes. I guess I'll just give my opinion on what I thought about the game. I'm honestly really impressed with how the Eagles played because they didn't give up a lot of mistakes. I think the biggest error was... on the defensive side, we did not sack Patrick Mahomes, which was we've been saying all year that we led in sacks by 15, or at least in the regular season. We had 70 total sacks, and the second closest was the Chiefs at 55 sacks. So we were 15 point or sack differential, not point. So that's what killed us. We weren't able to pressure Mahomes like we should have, and they basically had ease, and it doesn't help, too, that we gave up a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Yeah, I don't know.
Nearly two.
And,
Sanders, I feel like the one issue on the offense, if I can name any, was Sanders dropped the ball or fumbled the ball twice. And that was interesting. One to start the game, but luckily it went out of bounds. But because it went backwards out of bounds, it was a loss of yardage rather than forward. And then one that was ruled an incompletion. I should actually say it wasn't 2 fumbles, but way too close. Had he made a third step, it definitely would have. And I think he was like hit too hard for him to actually have had control of that.
I don't think he made a football move either, too. But like
but I'm saying like if he had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like there were a lot of instances where it's just like, I don't know what that really comes down to. Is it just like not being prepared or focused? I don't really know, but nerves maybe. Who knows? I just feel like the Chiefs' defense, despite giving up a lot of big air plays, and some running plays from Jalen Hurts actually, they were hitting hard, and yeah, I feel like the defense. We usually never give a lot of props, but I feel like the Chiefs definitely did a decent job. Even though it was like 35 points led up, I still think they did a decent job overall.
Yeah, they were at least able to get a few crucial stops, and comparatively to the Eagles' defense, where they were not able to. And yeah, Jalen Hurts had an almost flawless game, except for the fumble, we were saying earlier, that was returned for a touchdown, but he had the second highest passer, or no, QBR, I believe, in Eagles franchise history, only behind Nick Foles, which is pretty impressive to have that accomplishment, even though it's just like a franchise record. But he was almost flawless passing, 27 completions, 38 attempts, 304 yards, a touchdown, and then he also had 3 rushing touchdowns and 70 yards rushing, which was insane. So it was basically the Jalen Hurts show, and he also had that 2-point conversion that tied it up 35-35. But it just really came down to like the last drive or last couple drives, I think, with that kind of dismantled the Eagles having any chance of winning, because they had that like really long return. I forget who it was. I forget who returned it, but
the Chiefs guy.
Yeah. So the Eagles special teams did not do good there, and then I still think it was a bad call, but it definitely the Eagles should have had more plays. Like, it wasn't the defining penalty, but towards the very end of the game, the last penalty on James Bradbury, I think that was just a bad call, or a ticky-tacky play call or a flag that was thrown, which was really annoying. That's how like the Eagles season ended, but like the Eagles defense needed to play a lot better, and I don't know, like I feel like the refs didn't have like a big part of the Eagles winning or losing. Like it wasn't like a tremendous like effect that the refs had, except for that like one play, because I feel like they weren't calling too many penalties throughout the game.
Apparently, who was it? Bradbury admitted to holding. Did you hear about that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he like admitted to it. And then I don't know if you've also seen like the Juju tweet and then the AJ Brown response. And then a couple of the Eagles like pitched in on it. And even Micah Parsons went at Juju. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, that Juju that was uncalled for. I
won't defend Juju anymore. I did last week. I was like, he gets a little bit too much hate for just, doing the typical athlete thing in my mind. Which is just get the bag, secure a following. That way it doesn't all rely on football for the rest of your life. But then he tweeted that. I'm like, okay.
I'm so happy AJ Brown like said the TikTok thing, because it was a running meme, or it's been a running meme that I've been making fun of Juju for the past, I guess ever since the podcast started, that I make fun of him because he does TikTok and is like super annoying about it.
You know who else does TikTok?
Who?
This guy does.
Not like Juju.
That's what you think.
I post random stuff. I never take it seriously. There's a big difference.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. This game is so heartbreaking. I think this is the most heartbreaking like way to lose a Super Bowl like game too, because we were leading and or if not leading, tied through like the majority of the game, and I don't know, I feel like we just like took control for most of the game, and it was just like a couple unlucky plays in the fourth quarter and a few dumb mistakes on the defensive end, and Yeah, this reminded me honestly of a lot of the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl because the Eagles were leading most of the time, and or Patriots like led for very little, and it was I don't know if it was ever tied during that Super Bowl, but if it was tied for a very short amount of time. This Super Bowl reminded me a lot of that, just like high scoring, both defenses not really being able to stop one another, and yeah, instead of a few plays going the Eagles' way, like it did 5 years ago. A few plays went the Chiefs' way, and yeah, that's ultimately why they ended up winning. And Patrick Mahomes, even though I don't think he's the but GOAT as of now, but it's going to be interesting to see if he puts up this amount of production and continues to winning Super Bowls in this fashion. In
Greatest 5 year span in quarterback history, though.
It is,
and
yes.
is in his first 5, so.
Yeah, and I think he has a very, very good chance, if he stays healthy, if he stays consistent, of beating Tom Brady and surpassing Tom Brady. He just has the one thing that I don't know is for certain is if he's going to play as long as Brady, has of much success for that longevity like Brady. And I don't know, Brady is like a different breed. Like there's a reason he's the greatest of all time. I hate to say it, but he just keeps his body intact and very healthy, and it's going to be interesting to see if Patrick Mahomes can keep that up because he had a phenomenal game. Even though he did not have like a lot of passing yards, he did have 3 passing touchdowns, 182 passing yards, 21 for 27, even a better completion percentage than Hurts. And Kelsey ended up scoring a touchdown. But yeah, it was
their first one. I mean, he was kind of unstoppable for a little bit. They stopped really using him a lot in the red zone because they just kept doing these they kept using him as a decoy basically, which worked wonders. It made the defense look so silly, but I mean it's always nice to have that decoy. Like the Titans do that a lot with Derrick Henry, where it's like a goal line run. You would just expect Derrick Henry, and then Ryan Tannehill does this sneaky little turnaround and walks into the end zone and does his little dance. Like he just did the most athletic shit ever when really he's just able to kind of ride those coattails. And that's what a lot of the Chiefs did. Even when Kelsey wasn't getting the ball, he had that effect. And that's why Mahomes and Kelsey, one of the greatest duos ever.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think even that brings up to the Kelsey. He's probably going to surpass Gronk soon, or whoever. I don't think there's like a definite like greatest tight end of all time, or it's still like murky. I feel like it's definitely like very clear with like Tom Brady and everything, but it's still kind of murky. But I feel like Kelsey can be that tight end that's like gonna be the greatest of all time if he continues like having the same health and same span of plays and stuff.
Gronk isn't officially retired yet. He could
true.
Still come back, and I mean, even what he was doing with the Bucks was still pretty decent. Like he can just keep adding to his resume. So the race is still on. It's not just about Kelsey catching up. It's about how much can Gronk really put into whatever he's got left in the tank. Because he was even talking about joining the Bengals at one point.
Yeah, he's only 33, so yeah, he
really is like still.
He's as old
the
as
same age.
Yeah,
that's so weird to think about. Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Like I don't know, Gronk seems so much older than Kelsey because like I feel like Kelsey, I don't know, Gronk definitely took a lot more like brutal hits. Cause I don't remember like Kelsey like taking a lot of hits. I feel like he's kind of a wide receiver more like, but I feel like Gronk always like trucks everyone.
Yeah, Gronk was definitely more physical, kind of like what Kittle does with the 49ers was kind of like what Gronk was doing with Tom Brady. But Kelsey's, yeah, he doesn't do that shit. He just gets yards, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, to go over like the rest of the little predictions that we had too, I guess the score of 37-17. Titus predicted 27-17, and I got points for having the Eagles close to having the Eagles score because I was 2 away from having the Eagles score. The only other 2 correct predictions that we had, I guess the only 2 predictions that we both got correct, or Titus only got one of them correct. I got two correct predictions. What occurred first? Interception, fumble, recovery, safety, or turnover on downs. And the fumble recovery happened first. And then I correctly predicted that there will be a 2-point conversion made, which is not how it happened is not how I predicted it would happen, because I predicted that not Jake Elliott. I don't think I said a specific kicker, but I said that an extra point will be missed. The Eagles just scored like field goals and stuff instead of like a touchdown and missing an extra point. So that's why they had to go for 2 points to tie it up 28-28. This was very heartbreaking. And I also wanted to like storm Broad and everything and go to the parade, because that would be such like good content too. I know that I keep like going in and out of like that of how good, like how perfect of a season this would be. And especially that I won League of the Wings too. That would be so good. But honestly, that's all I got to say about the Eagles.
Mahomes took MVP and Super Bowl from the Eagles.
Yeah.
What a heartbreaker.
He's the first quarterback in a while, I think like 8 or 9 like MVPs. Or there was like an active streak of 8 or 9 straight MVPs losing in the Super Bowl. And he broke that streak because he won the MVP.
It's true. Peyton Manning was 2 of them?
That's crazy.
I think. Because to the Saints and to the Seahawks, I think those were both MVP seasons.
That's crazy. Peyton Manning is in an entirely different league on his own.
Greatest quarterback ever.
Yes.
But just didn't have the longevity or
the Super Bowls.
The teams.
Or the teams.
Not to say he didn't have good offenses, but I mean he had a lot of good players around him, I'll say, in all phases, but just never panned out to a dynasty.
Burp.
Did you just say burp?
Yeah, because I had like a little baby burp.
So you had to clarify it?
Yeah. I was just being goofy.
Yeah. In other news, the Eagles also lost both coordinators. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, they probably still have their special teams coordinator, so hey.
The only one that I wanted gone, because that's our biggest weakness on the team is our special teams.
That's okay, because Sirianni will take over.
Yes. But we lost our defense and offensive coordinator, and which adds to the even more depressing state of the Eagles' loss is that it would be even more ironic if the Eagles won the Super Bowl, because a offensive coordinator, specifically ours, is going to the Indianapolis Colts, and which in the Super Bowl year when we won, Frank Wright became the head coach of the Colts. So very weird that happened. Yeah,
very different circumstances, but
yeah,
it's true. 6-year contract, not the usual for first-time head coach, but the Colts want to make sure he has some assurance that they want to grow with him rather than be testing and challenging him and wish for immediate success, basically. Let him develop a quarterback. That's a big thing that Irsay has confirmed, that they will be taking at least a young quarterback. Maybe not draft him, but at least use that first-round pick to somehow acquire one, maybe. Who knows? Probably will be draft, but anything could happen in this league. And he's going to bring Jason Kelce with him.
No.
He's going to bring Boston Scott in, free agent. He's going to bring Zach Pascal back. Who else? Let's look at Eagles free agents.
They're just becoming the Philadelphia Eagles at this point.
I mean, it happens both ways, though. You know, Colts went to the Eagles. Obviously, Zach Pascal, as I just said. It happens all the time. Ooh, maybe we'll take Miles Sanders, too. He would be a good RB2.
I would be so sad if Gardner Johnson leaves. Honestly, there's only like a few that would actually be sad.
I doubt he's going to bring any defensive people with him just because that's not really his thing. And I think we're keeping our defensive coordinator because I think he was actually really good for us. I would take Hargrave, though.
Yeah.
I would definitely take Hargrave. Whew! In a heartbeat. Let's see. Gardner Minshew.
I think you guys should take Gardner Minshew. You need a quarterback.
No.
He's an elite quarterback. No. He won us so many games this year. That was a joke because he went 0-2 because he's a fucking dumbass. No, I'm just joking.
See, there we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Caleb. You're hyping him up so much.
I still love Gardner Minshew, even though he lost twice this year.
Him.
Do you wanna?
Do I want to what?
Do you got any thing else to say about
Well, we didn't get into the defensive coordinator.
Oh, I meant like the new Colts head coach. Do you think like that's a good pickup?
I don't know anything about him. I just know that he ran a really good offense with the Eagles.
Honestly,
and he helped Herbert's dominant rookie season. He was there for that. He said in his interview, "We're gonna pass to score and run to win," which was definitely very Eagles this year.
Yes.
Score a lot of points in the second quarter and then just run it down their throats last half of the game. And I think I like that because we've been kind of leaning too much on Jonathan Taylor and our passing offense has not been able to keep up with that production. So we just kept returning to that, but it wasn't consistent wins basically. So I think it was very smart to go for a guy who has that mentality and can clearly develop young quarterbacks. Herbert and Jalen Hurts can play call. I think that's important. I want someone who's just gonna come in and bring a play caller with him. I want someone who can just like do both. I don't know why. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that really matters, but I just know like with Jeff Saturday, it was just like, he can do calling of the plays, so someone else was up in the booth, and it was just like a whole weird dynamic that I could never figure out. This makes more sense in my head, at least. You're looking at Brian Johnson.
I think it's making more sense, but I'm looking at Brian Johnson's, which is the likelihood that he will become the Eagles' offensive coordinator to replace our old Steve.
Well, it looks like they bumped him up on Wikipedia.
Really? Wait, where do you? Oh wait, where do you see that?
On Wikipedia.
Football coach? Wikipedia. Teams coach. Position quarterback coach.
No.
Where? Oh. That's so weird. The fuck?
But yeah, and then on the other side was the defensive coordinator now going to the Cardinals when the Cardinals were trying to get a bunch of people, but it didn't seem like a lot of head coaches really wanted to go there.
Because it's a shit show in Arizona. Like it was
Kyler
a shit
Murray,
show on Sunday.
some drama.
What's his drama?
Kyler Murray's?
I forget his drama, honestly. I know.
It's just, is he the guy? That's basically it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
He also seems to have an attitude issue. I mean, the whole like contract thing where he has to like have a minimum amount of hours of like looking at plays or something like that. Like study hall, basically. Like the fact that that's written into a contract is kind of interesting.
It's given me Russell, I forget his first name.
Jamarcus.
Yeah.
And this guy calls himself a documentarian. Can't even remember names.
I'm bad with names.
It's true. But I am too.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch him. That was like not even when I was watching the NFL.
I mean, that was
so you have no excuse.
It was so long ago that I don't even remember him playing. I just remember watching a lot of videos about the worst bust of all time.
The worst what?
Bust of all time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the defense or how our both of our coordinators are going to do as head coaches in this league. And yeah, I'm rooting for them to do really good. But yeah, as I was saying about Brian Johnson, according to Wikipedia, he's already offensive coordinator, but he's the most likely candidate and probably will get the offensive coordinator job, whereas the defensive coordinator for the Eagles is still very much up in the air, but I think they're going to keep it in-house and probably sign someone within the organization that's already like in, the org.
Early prediction for the Eagles next year? 10-7.
I say 0-6, 17.
Damn. I just feel like losing coordinators is so rough. That happened to the Colts with Sirianni, and our boy out in Chicago turned around that defense eventually once he has the means to actually do that. I mean, it was pretty rough pickings last year. I'm excited for what they're doing in Chicago. But yeah, losing both of those coordinators in back-to-back years was not fun. So to do that, to have to go through that in 2 coordinators in 1 year, oof. Not fun. Not fun.
Not fun at all. Not fun. I think they're going to be at least above 500, and I think they're going to sneak into the playoffs. But hopefully, because they have the toughest schedule amongst the entire league, so I think it's going to be a very tough next year, especially losing a lot of pieces, both players and coaching wise. Because like what Titus was saying earlier, there is a lot of free agents for the Eagles, and I don't know how many are going to be coming back with just like market cap, but we do have 2 first round draft picks. And also too, I just saw the longest kick return. Remember the last podcast when I was like, we were like joking and stuff. I'm like, I was like, you should do 10 as a joke. It's kind of,
I remember that.
I'll have to. I'm not gonna bring it up in the podcast, but never mind. I thought you would. Now it's not as funny because like, I think we were talking about the 48, how I predicted that it was going to be a 48 plus long kick return, and I was like, you should like do something outlandish as well, and I was like, you should pick 10.
So that's not outlandish. That's just being lame. Because Price is Right rules, just lowballing it. That's not fun.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a little gimme because like I go high, you go low.
Right.
Whatever.
And then I would just win.
Yeah.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I could have just picked one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no.
I should have picked 10.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it was the only kick return. Was 11 yards.
That's insane.
Everything else, I mean, it was in a high scoring game, touchbacks.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. I actually thought we wouldn't even get a return that whole game. And I was like, damn, am I really going to have to write 0? But it did happen. It did.
It did, in fact, happen. But I got nothing else to say.
Okay. Anything to look forward to this offseason? What are you going to do with those draft picks? Huh? Get a new center?
Well, you see, I don't want to, like, predict because it's, like, we're not continuing it anymore and stuff.
Well, it's just predicting for yourself and for the sake of that this is a podcast. Even if it doesn't continue, doesn't mean you can't say it.
Yeah. I think we're going to pick up a defensive lineman and a running back.
Seems like you have a lot of defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Out in the open now.
All of them are free agents or really old. We have
Fletcher.
Yeah. Which is he's old and a free agent. Yeah, I just think we need some young guys in there. I wouldn't mind getting on like a center or like another like offensive lineman.
You got 2 firsts to work with.
Yeah. But I just don't know what's gonna happen with Miles Sanders and.
Hey, you know who Sirianni has a good relationship with? Ryan Kelly. You guys should definitely take Ryan Kelly and we'll take Jason Kelce. It would be like we're swapping Pro Bowl centers. You know, wouldn't that be nice?
No, I'm good. Kelsey's gonna retire an Eagle. Look, that's going to be Kelsey's like right now he's like top 3 player for me who's currently playing. Like I want him to retire as an Eagle, and it's gonna make me so sad if he's on a different team. Like I can't physically.
We took one of your favorite Eagles last year. We'll do it again.
That was more of a B, but.
Now it's a meme.
Well, I thought that was pretty obvious.
No. Don't backtrack now.
Because I said that he was one of my top players. In the Super Bowl run.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Go look it up. There are millions of fans.
No. Because before you even found out that he got to the Colts, I said, hey, you know this guy? He's like, yeah, he's one of my favorite Eagles. Verbatim.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Verbatim.
Yeah, so I'm going to downgrade that on the record now that...
So now when Jason Kelce becomes a Colt, what are you going to say then? He's like, I didn't really ever like him, actually. He's like pretty overrated, honestly.
Well, I mean, I was still hyping up Rodney McLeod when he went to the Eagles. I know. It's only now that I'm saying otherwise. I think I was being facetious because I was just mad on the trade happening.
I would love it. I actually think Boston Scott makes the most sense. Zach Pascal, sure. Returning to the Colts, he already has that history. But I think Boston Scott, considering that we traded away Nyheim Hines, because I feel like whenever a coordinator goes to a new team, he always brings like one player with him. We traded Nyheim Hines, so we need a kind of like vet running back that can, put in the work when we need to relieve Jonathan Taylor, and like someone we can trust in the long game towards the end. Because Nyheim Hines wasn't really ever, in my eyes, he wasn't really a every down type running back that we could use in the last half in relief of Jonathan Taylor when we're just like trying to close the game. He was way better as a receiving back. And like I think Boston Scott can still be a receiving back, but most importantly, he can trade downs with Jonathan Taylor when we're trying to close out a game if we go up big or whatever. Whereas like I do not really trust the rest of the room. I think Deion Jackson could still use some developmental years as an RB3 basically. I don't think. Yeah, I would prefer if he was like kind of low, still downgraded because he wasn't very consistent. He had some good fantasy games, I guess. But so yeah, I think Boston Scott actually does make sense for the Colts. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who Steichen decides to bring with him, especially assistant coaches. That'll be something to look out for because I do imagine clearing house besides defensive coordinator, at least on the offensive side of the assistant coaches, it's overdue. I mean, whoever our offensive line coach is, he has to go, 100%. So I'm excited to see who Steichen will bring in.
Yeah, and hey, I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, or you may never know with that 17th game with a random team that gets chosen from the AFC side, or I guess NFC side. We're talking on the Colts, but if the Colts do get Boston Scott, he's also the giant killer. So if you face Giants,
not next year,
but like with that extra 17 game, I mean, there's like an off chance of
because that's based off of record, because we're so low record.
Never mind. I forgot about that rule. But
the year after maybe.
Yeah, maybe the year after. But it's going to have at least a minimum or maximum like 3 years from now, 3 or 4 years from now, because
sure.
The division rotation. But
we'll move on from him.
That's so long.
Next year.
That's so big.
He's just a 1 year guy.
I want that's useless. I want if Boston Scott leaves after a year, I'm like, you might as well retire as an
We'll
Eagle.
give him the greatest 1 year deal of all time.
1 year, $1 billion.
Exactly. I mean, we made Nyheim Hines a top 10 paid running back as an RB2, so
that's crazy.
We'll do it with Boston.
That's like some cowboy shit. Pay Ezekiel Elliott one of the highest contract running backs of all time, and then got Tony Pollard, in which he's probably going to get a massive
To be fair, I think I still stand by that decision. I think it actually did make sense for extending Nyheim Hines. It was just the fact that we couldn't figure out quarterback. If we had stability at quarterback and just offensive stability in general, the duo of Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor could have been historically nasty.
I would have loved to see it, and future generations would be watching highlights of the two prolific running backs in the entire league.
Yeah, it would have been like A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, or Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, or Pollard Elliott. You got all those duos out in the NFC. We could have had that in the AFC, but
what do you mean?
Nyheim Hines wanted out.
You also got Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott too.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Gainwell though, second rushing on the Eagles, surpassing Sanders and Scott. So
yeah, I would have liked them to run a little bit more.
Is he the future?
I have
draft a running back, keep Gainwell. Well, obviously, I mean he's still under contract, but
I would love that because I've always been a big fan of Gainwell, even when we drafted him, and I'm pretty sure he was a super late pick too. But when I was watching his highlights, because each year for Disgruntled, I do highlights of every draft pick that we got. Kenneth Gainwell. I think he was very late, but he was one that I was most excited for to watch. Draft position. No. He was the 5th round, so that's pretty late, and I was really high on him.
Bro, you're going to have some 2nd or 3rd round picks where I think you just got to throw one at a running back because, fuck it, even do it in the 1st round, honestly. Because I think it's a really deep class this year. Yeah, there's some heavy hitters out there. And I think, you got 2 in free agency now. Just fucking go for a different guy. Go for a new guy. Surround Jalen Hurts with someone who can, not just carry the ball, but lead a team as well. What I mean? I think Miles Sanders is good, but he's not, like, the most dominant.
Yeah. He's kind of, like, replaceable. I feel like most running backs
I'm clipping that. I'm sending it to him.
I feel like most running backs are replaceable within this league, though, because it's one of those positions that sadly is replaceable and don't get a lot of money coming their way.
Only 4 running backs are not replaceable. Saquon Barkley, Dak Prescott. No, fuck. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry is what I was trying to say, not Dak Prescott. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Those 4.
Yeah. And only then I feel like those 4 should get like major contracts. But if you're shelling out a shit ton of money to running backs that's not on those lists, then I feel like you're kind of wasting your money. That's what I gotta say.
Damn, Caleb.
Yeah.
Damn. Laying down the truth.
Yes. Last question of the podcast ever. What was your highlight? What was your favorite part of the podcast over the past 3 years?
My favorite part was the OG opening.
Yeah.
Just peak Caleb. What do you even call that? Editing, I guess.
I may have been a little bit stoned while doing that. And I thought it was so good at the time. But I honestly, for old time's sakes, I'm going to play that intro.
Okay.
For this podcast, for old time's sakes. Because I forget when the last time that I actually used it. Because I feel like we've been using the current one for a little while. For like a shit ton. Wait, I'm wanting to go. Okay. Wait, fuck. Oh, wait. This needs to go all the way to the top.
Bro, you fucked up, man.
What do you mean?
You fucked up.
Why?
Because you put it at the bottom.
Oh, it automatically does that. I just forgot to send it up to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you fucked up.
I did. Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't consent to that. Thanks. Our first podcast was September 9th, 2020, which is crazy. That's a few months away from being 3 years.
No. What? Did you just say 3 months away from being 3 years?
A few months.
Still wrong.
I consider a few months like 4 to 8.
that's so wrong.
That's
4 to 8.
in that range.
No, oh my god, bro.
Hey, you heard it here first. Few is 48. 48. It's 48 months exactly. 48. I mean, 4 to 8. Holy crap! Our second podcast got 116 views. That's crazy. But yeah, this podcast a lot. So this is going to be the 129th episode, which is insane amount.
We made it, boys.
Yes.
I've grown up a lot.
Dude, our old fucking setup was so funny, because we had like bar stools, and we just set our like laptops on it, and then this entire like setup. Honestly, like this all back wall has only been here for like a few months, which is crazy, but like our entire setup has changed drastically. Like just looking at the first podcast and now, like it's insane. But yeah, wild times. A lot of documentation, a lot of documentation, a lot of interviews. But yeah, What a wild time.
It's hard to get sentimental right now because I am so tired.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I can't even take it seriously.
Yeah.
I'll look back on this like 2 months from now maybe, and I'll be like, wow, what an era.
Yeah. I'm more sad about Disgruntled though. Like when I uploaded the last reaction video, like I was so sad. Like I almost broke down in tears.
Damn.
Like
I mean, that is a longer time
Yeah.
of doing reactions of every game for how long, you know? That is way crazier, I will say.
Like it's almost 8 years. My first ever episode of Disgruntled, I didn't even have a description, but it was March 31st. Fuck that date. Fuck that date, honestly, but March 31st, 2015.
Why?
Just that specific day, not 2015.
Wait,
But
why?
it's tragic. But yeah,
Really?
March 31st, March 31st, 2015, which is like a month and a half away.
There you go.
Which is like almost
That's correct. It's just a few weeks away.
It is a few weeks away. I still stand by that.
Oh my god.
A few to me is like, honestly, I was being a little bit overboard with the 48, but honestly, I think every time I think of few, it's like 3 to 5. A couple is 2.
It's so wrong.
Several.
Few is 2 to 3.
Few 2 to 3.
Yeah, that's what it actually is. Few is 2 to 3.
Oh. I always think of couple 2. Few is like a 1 above that, so it's like, this is just me thinking, but it's like 3 to 6. Several is like 7
I love
plus.
how it changes every time.
It's honestly whatever like makes the most sense at that moment is what I say.
It's whatever I want it to be in a moment.
Yeah. But couple I always stand by 2. I always say 2. It's only 2.
Well, yeah, couple. I mean, that's literally.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, couple.
Yeah. But going back to Disgruntled, like it's so fucking sad. Like I started this with my dad too, and I like texted him. I'm like, I just uploaded like the last like fan reactions and stuff, and we were like talking back and forth, and I was like, that was making me sad, and cause it's like I have so many like, this is like actual documentation of my like family stuff too, because it's like I'm just like seeing this now, but like I have like footage of my grandma who like passed, during the 2018 year, like right before the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which was sad, and then like a lot of like family members that I recorded the reactions of, and just like me growing up too, because like I was a fucking baby. Like I was 14 when I made this.
Gross.
And yeah, I
Imagine being 14.
I'm going to make one last like
Goodbye
video. I think I'm going to upload it March 31st.
Are you just gonna change your channel name to Caleb Leonza?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to do that. Which was the OG channel name, because that's the first, the first ever like name. I just had it as my name, and then I changed it to Disgruntled.
Funnily enough, it's also your legal name.
Yeah, that is oddly enough. Wow, he would have thunk it. But that I think I'm gonna break down during that fucking video, cause like I don't know, cause like I'm going to do like the montage of like the best reactions, or like some of my favorite like reactions throughout like, or moments throughout like Disgruntled. I think I'm going to do at least like one reaction per year, maybe a couple, but
Wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just, porn.
Yeah.
That's where he's headed next.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
Moving on up.
No, I think when you restart Kids with Divorced Parents, I should be the first person to ever be guest twice. And then we can kind of talk about the next phase of your channel, since I'm still under contract. With Licia, that is.
You see, the first Kids with Divorced Parents is going to be uploaded tomorrow.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying the first episode back,
yeah.
but I should be the first guest to make a return twice.
Yeah.
At some point in this next span.
Yes. Oh, I miss Kids with the Forced Parents. I wonder how like long that's going to take, or like how long it's going to take before we end that one. That's gonna be sad. But yeah.
We should also get my ears pierced before that episode.
Yes.
We
Do
should
it.
ask Licia if she knows someone who could do it. Who can do a house call.
Yo.
bring the piece there.
Yo, that would be so fun. I would love that so much.
Because you can do a house call for like tattoos,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me, but yeah.
I want to be that rich where I have a guy, and wherever I am in the entire world, I'll just be like, take a flight here and do a tattoo. Primetime bangers. We haven't done one in 4 months, which is wild.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those.
I don't.
What?
Did you know like Trey still claims like he came up with that name?
I forget who came up
It was
with
me.
It was?
It was 100% me.
Oh, lol.
And I'm still mad at that. I'm like, how dare you?
That's something that Trey would do.
Caleb Games. Yo, is that making a return?
I don't know. That's kind of just like here and there whenever I feel like streaming. I don't know if that's going to make a return or not. Because I literally went back-to-back days streaming and then have not been seen in a
I didn't
month.
see this title. Caleb Games. Titus retires.
Yeah.
It was like around the same time I fucking signed a contract.
I was such a troll. That was one of my favorite times on this YouTube channel though, is when we were streaming over the summer. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that was good times. I'm too busy now.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to J. Cool if you're watching.
He's
Sorry, I just blew up the mic.
going to immediately say hi. I can already sense it.
He does. He does do that. He says hi.
And I just respond, hi. Hi, J. Cole.
And sometimes I go hi.
And then sometimes I go, hi. And then sometimes
Sometimes I go low.
sometimes I go in the middle.
Damn, you gotta get new graphics. Yo, are you gonna do your one picture that Trey took of you that you use for everything?
That would be so funny.
Man.
Yeah. So this graphic is going to officially change the 31st. I guess I'm
On
going
the 31st.
of March because that's when I'm going to upload the last Disgruntled Eagles fan video.
Oh, that's why it's a sad day.
No, it's just because it's Janet's birthday.
You said that. I hope you leave that in.
I'm going to.
All right.
I'm going to because I don't. It's never gonna make it to her.
What if?
That would be so funny. I would laugh.
Why leave it in?
Huh? What?
I feel like that's not. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna question anything anymore. Do what you want.
I can't believe you still questioned me.
Do as you please.
Yes. Yes.
You know what you should do? This is the perfect time to start your mukbang career. Because think about it. What Brendan says about you, you could use that as a skill. Don't let him try to change who you are. Enhance it
I'm gonna tag him.
for the mic.
I'm going to tag him in every single video too. Honestly, I've been thinking about doing mukbangs. Like, I feel like I can just eat a lot of shit.
ASMR food ASMR.
I aspire to be Matt Stoney, or I think that's his name, Matt Stone.
Wait.
Yeah, Stoney. Matt Stoney.
Who is this?
He's like a competitive eater.
Yeah, I know this person.
Yeah.
Someone who I had a romantic relation with was in love with him. And I did not understand the appeal because I don't really like food videos in general. Like, I have no interest in any of this.
Yeah.
This just looks crazy.
Like, I was also in love with him for a while too, and it's like fucking he gets so many views. Cause like I used to watch him all the time, but like his most viewed video is 139 million. I'm like, I want to tap into that, but I feel like mukbangs aren't as popular as they used to be. I guess.
You have to do so much cardio to burn that off.
Yeah.
He stays fit, which I respect. I'm not saying I don't respect him, but I just would never watch. What is happening?
He said, this guy's another mukbang guy, but Nikocado Avocado is another popular one. But two extremes. Matt Stoney, he does mukbangs once in a while and doesn't get fat, and Nikocado Avocado does it basically every day, and he was like super skinny at one point too, and like he was like a trainer and stuff. Like, it's crazy, like his blow up. Like that's how like that's he went from that to that. Like,
what are
and
these thumbnails?
And it was all like documented too, which was crazy.
If this ever popped up in my feed, I'd block him.
Yeah, he's not very well liked within the YouTube space.
Damn.
Just because of, I mean, everyone used to like love him and stuff, but like he just became obnoxious. But yeah. All right, do you got anything else to say, or is this the last goodbye forever? That was a bit dramatic. I guess you gotta be dramatic for the last episode. Alright. See ya never, because this is the last podcast.
Future Colt. Never forget.